Whether you're towards the start, the middle, or possibly even the end of your defined benefit pension transfer research journey, you will have already understood it is very difficult to find reputable and good financial planning firms that offer defined benefit pension transfer advice. The stark reality is the number of pension transfer specialists is dropping off the face of the planet in the UK because it is becoming extremely difficult and expensive for them to do their job. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking the topic down for you, why this is happening, and potentially what you can do about it if you're still interested in getting or obtaining advice from a reputable firm. If you want to have a conversation with ourselves, reach out here at Cameron James. We always say to all of our DB clients that are considering getting advice as part of a two-advisor model with us, start a conversation. We're not a scary bunch. A lot of our clients have been in contact for many months, potentially some of them have been doing research for years before they embark on such an advice journey. So start a conversation now, whether it's with us, you think there's another better financial planner out there with better reviews, better testimonials, whatever it is, go and start a conversation with them, get a real human life relationship happening, as opposed to just reading things online or watching YouTube videos. Go and really talk to an expert in their field. Okay, so number one, which is unavoidable, is what we refer to as the regulatory avalanche, okay? Over the course of the past 5 years or so, the scrutiny on defined benefit pension transfers from the FCA has been intense, and arguably rightfully so. We look back, it's not that long ago, just Google British skills scandal. You will understand exactly why the FCA has got more strict in this area and is trying to help people understand what they're giving up in terms of the guaranteed benefit. Another very difficult thing, or something that makes it challenging, is consumer duty. Since Consumer Duty has been launched in the UK, there is far more pressure on advisory firms and directors and everyone in those companies to make sure the advice they're providing is valuable and in line with the charges that they're paying. And with defined benefit pension transfers, for a lot of companies, they're just saying, don't want to go there, not going to do it. So obviously from a regulatory point of view, things are not exactly going in the interest of pension transfer specialists. Now, the second point I want to talk to is what I refer to as the squeeze, the industry squeeze, or the commercial squeeze, we could say. This is the PI insurance that pension transfer specialists or any firms involved have to pay when it comes to if something were to go wrong or if a claim were to be made against them. I've heard examples of people I know running PTS firms saying they've had increases of 300 to 400% in their PI insurance premiums over the course of the past couple of years. Now, the reason for this is a lot of PI insurance firms are just pulling out of the market and saying, we're not going to cover this. We think the long tail liability of potentially people making a claim or trying to claim something in the future didn't understand what they were doing, despite swathes and swathes of paperwork of them saying they did understand what they're doing. There's always that possibility. So a lot of PI insurance firms are pulling out of the market. Those that are willing to still provide insurance are becoming very expensive. I've heard instances around £150,000 to £200,000 per 1 million of cover, which makes it very, very expensive, or a lot of risk and a lot of cost to be taken in order to stay in the market. Now, I hope this gives you a bit of a snapshot as to the idea. And a lot of people say to me things like, oh, Dominic, it's all a racket. I could just, I should go and set up a PTS firm myself. It looks like easy money. Good luck. From my understanding with the FCA do not hand out authorized, regulated and authorized permissions for DB pension transfer advice unless the financial planning firm is able to show huge resources, huge experience. The majority of pension transfer specialists are operating from permissions that were already provided to them in the past before such intense scrutiny came. So it's not a market that's suddenly going to explode. And I don't know, well, I can't say never, but I don't see the DB market getting bigger and more providers coming in. This isn't like, oh, technology is just going to solve the problem, because we're talking about risk, we're talking about cost, we're talking about PI insurance. PI insurance doesn't care about technology. You can have the best technology in the world and make a fantastic pension transfer specialist firm with all the latest mod cons and all the paperwork done brilliantly. That doesn't change the risk that the PI insurance companies are seeing from yesteryear advice, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when pension transfer advice was being given that perhaps wasn't very suitable for the individual or the members transferring out of the scheme. So I hope this gives you a bit of an idea as to why it's so expensive. And I guess my question to you would be, do you think the FCA has gone too far in terms of the regulation and the landscape they've put in place? Do you think this makes it unfair on people who have saved money in the defined benefit schemes, now having to go through all sorts of hoops in order to get the money out of their scheme if they believe that's the best thing for them to do? It can also be argued that a lot of retail investors simply cannot afford the price. Pension transfer specialists and firms are often charging over £10,000 for advice processes because of the reasons I've just mentioned previously. But a lot of the costs that are coming there and not for the financial planning firm or the pension transfer specialist to go off into the sunset with a large profit. A lot of these costs are coming from the restrictions that have been put in place and the PI insurance and stuff increasing. So I'd be really interested to know in the comment section below. And really, I guess the title is a bit, is this the end for DB advice? I think DB advice is going to continue, but I think it's just going to get increasingly more difficult and more expensive each year. And if you want to have a conversation with ourselves, use all the channels, reach out, have a chat to us, get yourself into a more educated and informed position to understand whether or not you wish to try to move ahead and obtain advice as part of a 2-advisor model here at Cameron James. And as always, as I say to all of my clients and everyone we speak with, take care of the UK pension assets.